Hi, and welcome to my ultimate bullet journal setup video. I'm using a Leuchtturm 1917 notebook. I've been using them for 7 years and I am very happy with them. They have 251 pages. I prefer the dotted version. There is space, there are like 2 pages up front for the index. And all of the pages are numbered, and there is a little pocket in the back, and it comes with 2 marker points, 2 little flat ribbons that you can use as bookmarks. I am happy with how thin the pages are. I don't do elaborate painting inside. There is a little bit of ghosting. I'm fine with it. Now we pause for the Posca activation sounds. I find them very satisfying for some reason. Very fun to do. As long as the paint doesn't go sploosh all over your paper and then you're stuck with a lot of color that you don't know what to do with. Right, so that's the intro bit out of the way, and now I am going to ramble on a bit. Feel free to skip ahead to the setup in the timestamps, because there will be a lot of oohing and all of that stuff, because I am just talking over the video right now. I have a general idea of what I want to say, but I will definitely mess it up. So if you just want to see the setup and how I have done this, just skip ahead. You have been warned. Right. Now I'm going back and I'm going to say that if you have never done bullet journaling before, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, go to bulletjournal.com after you watch my amazing ultimate video, of course, and just watch the tutorials and read the articles. There are links to other people who do stuff, other systems implemented within the system. There's lots of stuff, lots of information, because the way I have set it up might not work for you, but you might still get a whole bunch of ideas, some better than others, with the stuff I've done here. Maybe. Or not. I don't know. Now I'm nervous and I'm losing track of my train of thought. Words are hard today. Right. I've given the disclaimer. You should go look at the original creator and how he does stuff. And now I am going to show you how I do stuff. And well, first of all, I am spending way too much time on the cover. I really wanted to do something with the Poscas I got. I was very excited. I have tested out the cover of this particular journal, Leuchtturm cover. I have made some doodles on my current journal. I've carried it in my bag. It's been lying around on my desk. It fell a couple of times. There have been cats sitting on it occasionally. And I've just been generally using it a lot. And the Posca has held up pretty well. It hasn't cracked, hasn't smeared, hasn't fallen off. Oh no, there has been some cracking in the big pool of paint I have accidentally unleashed on the cover, but it looks kind of cool, okay? So here is hoping this cover will survive the year. And if it doesn't, if I ever make another video, one of those setup ones, although I might not need to because this is the ultimate one, obviously. Everything I've ever learned, yeah, I will maybe make a report on how the Posca survived the year on the cover, with lots of details and lots of colors and multiple layers. But so far from my testing, I am very optimistic. Yes. What else did I want to mention while the very fast forward video is playing on the screen? There have been quite a few discussions on the whole bullet journal thing and art. There are people who create absolute masterpieces that belong on a wall in an art show somewhere, for their daily, weekly spreads, for their collections, all of that good stuff. And there have been even more people being extremely put off by that. Because if you just Google bullet journaling, or if you look it up on Pinterest, or if you use the hashtag on Instagram, you are going to see some very beautiful spreads. And if you're not already familiar with the system and the pros and cons of it, well, not that many cons, but the pros of it, you might be put off because you think that to do bullet journaling right, you need to make beautiful paintings and make it look very, very pretty and spend multiple hours on it. Well, that's not really the case. I mean, I'm doing this for the cover, and then there'll be some more doodling on the first page where the name goes and all that stuff. But then I'm not really drawing anything for the rest of it. I am getting it out of my system right here, right now. It's there. I will always see it. I don't need to turn to a specific page to see the pretty art I did. It's right there. And nothing inside requires any drawing skills or any of that stuff. If you don't want to, right? If you're into that, yay, good for you. But don't be put off by all of the really pretty things you see online. You can do it with just a pen and paper, really. I know it sounds hypocritical slightly when I'm spending so many hours doing the color coding and the doodling and the drawing and the planning, but that's how I like to do it. That's how I like to do the things, and it's important for me to have it look good, for me to keep wanting to use it. Right, more mowing. Oh, be warned, I will be committing a very, very big sin in this video. I'll be doing something that pretty much goes against the spirit of bullet journaling. So some might say that this isn't bullet journaling, this is a glorified planner. And maybe it is. And I don't think there's anything wrong with it. The way I have set it up is the way that works for me. It might work for you as well. There could be things you take away and want to do, or new ideas, or something like, oh no, this is definitely not how I want to do it, and you learn from my mistakes or my setup, and then you know exactly what you don't want to do. I'm not going to be going into stuff I want to go into because I want to get the art portion out of the way. The doodling, there's turtles, there's numbers, there's crabs, I think there is Bill. There's more doodling suddenly, and this is pretty much the final result. Those are my cats, that's my little mascot. Lots of doodles to fill up the place, and the empty bit is where my pen holder is going to go, or where I attach the pen, because I haven't tested that. I don't know if it's actually going to destroy the Posca layer underneath. So I'm playing it safe, having it nice and empty, and I am going to be moving on into the actual setup and explanation. So if you watched this far, thank you, and on to the actual important bit of the video. Okay, this is the actual setup and explanation about how I bullet journal. I'm going to mention again, if you skipped the art portion, is that if you have no idea what bullet journaling is, go to bulletjournal.com, read the articles, watch the videos. The best explanations, the best basic and principles that you need is there. And this is what my bullet journaling has evolved into in the past 7 years. So yes, no longer being limited by all the colors of the rainbow except very bright lime green, apparently, I have decided to make my own cover with blackjack and Posca markers. Now, we open it. This is my theme that you don't need to have. You could pick a theme and stick to it when it comes to your setup, or not. I was obsessed with a color wheel this past year. So I have the washi tape and the markers, and this is January, February, so on and so forth. And those are the colors I'll be using because I like to color code. I would also suggest you put, I hope everything is in focus. Is it? Right. I also suggest you put your information, your name, phone number, email, so that if you lose it, you have some hope of somebody being nice enough to retrieve it and give it to you if they can find you. Battery died at the worst bit. Yes. Ultimate setup, video introduction, thought train back on track. I think, maybe, I hope. Right. Phone number, email, handle, name, whatever, in case you lose it. Hope you don't. Very stressful. Hasn't happened to me yet. Always room for improvement, right? Is this in focus? Let's zoom in, and I hope it is. My eyesight isn't what it used to be. I will do the art supplies. I will do the art supplies now, actually. Pens, black pens. I have all sorts of markers and the 12 colors I have picked like this. And I'm gonna put those back. There's not enough room. And I have this tiny washi tape as well to go with the markers. Those are not the colors it goes with, but those are the supplies. Then I have stamps, and I have those, and I have this, for the actual ink for the stamps, and I think that's it. I do all of my lines by hand, which is why they are so crooked and not straight and wonky and all of that good stuff. Do I recommend using stamps? It's the artiest I get inside the actual spreads. I like how they look. They are much slower than writing stuff by yourself. But then if you're going into fancy calligraphy, whatnot, if that takes you a while, I don't know what's faster. I don't do fancy calligraphy. This time I'm doing stamps. It was fun, was annoying, and maybe if you have high quality stamps that work better and are more comfortable to take out. This is not the best, and neither is this. Great. If you have any recommendations for amazing, cool letter stamps, I'm all ears. Leave them in the comments. Okay? And my favorite type of pens. Oh, I also have, that was a different black pen I was using. I was also using those. The thicker ones and the thinner ones. But yeah, those are the supplies. That's the supply list show off. And this is how I do bullet journaling. The very first thing, and one of the most important things, is the index. The index is where you find all of your things that you have written down. I'm straight off the bat, I am committing a huge sin of setting up in advance. You're not supposed to. You're supposed to log things as they happen, as the thoughts appear in your mind. I don't have many thoughts in my mind. I like to be able to look at my future, pre-planned, pre-written, and all set up. So that's what I did. I've never done this before. Might backfire so bad in my face, but I am cautiously optimistic. Right, so everything I have set up here so far, I have included in my index with the page numbers. If, for example, let's take my subscription collection, I will show you the page later. If I ran out of room on that page, I could do it on a whole random different page towards the end. And then I would just add that page number over here so that anything important, anything worth mentioning, I can find here at a glance. So the main general big things, I can also use markers to highlight certain things that are more important than others. There's also room here and here. If I ran out of space, if I need more lines, I can also glue another page in here, like little floppy door, and continue writing there if I need more lines for my index. Not a problem. Been there, done that. This is where everything goes. Now, after you have left some room for your index, you can start your future log. My future log takes, I'm not gonna fall off the chair. My future log is a full page for a month. You can fit your entire year on a double spread if you have those little boxes, little room. You could do it over 2 double spreads. I've seen people do it on 1 page. It's like really tiny future log that I don't know how you would fit anything in, but whatever works for you. My future log is a sort of extension of my index because I have a whole line and I can fit quite a few things, and anything important and worth noting that happens later on, I will go back and put it in here. So even if I don't think it's important enough to go in the index, it would still be very easy for me to find pretty much everything I have ever written down here because of my future log. Every month is the color I have assigned on that color wheel up front, up here, January, February, so on. So I love color coding stuff. That's my artsy bit for inside the journal, having gotten all of this out of my system. So after the future log, where you don't have to mark the weeks, but I do, and I will explain why the weeks are so important. It's for later on for my habit tracker setup. But yes, any kind of appointment you need to make, you can make it up in advance, dentist 6 months in advance and all that stuff. And you can see if you have stuff planned on that day or not. It's like one of those planners, but with just 12 pages and limited space. And I find it extremely comfortable set up this particular way. You might not need as much room, as much space. I suggest you look at different future log setups if this is your first time bullet journaling, and see which one appeals to you the most, and go with that for your starter bullet journal. And if you've been doing it for a couple of years, you know what you like. This is what I like, right? So after my future log, I have my future log, which is mostly used for future appointments and big things far in the future that I need to remind myself to do. I don't need that much space for a month because it's usually 1 or 2 things a month, if at all. I usually, like towards the end of the year, I maybe have 5-6 different reminders written in here, which is why I can fit the whole thing on the 1 page, and it's more than enough room for the things I need it for. I haven't seen other people do it, Maybe I haven't looked hard enough. And I don't know if it's something the original creator, writer, Carol, has added onto his tutorials for bullet journaling, because I haven't checked those out in the past 5 years. But I find this very, very useful, which is why I have put it here. Now, the reason I have marked the weeks, I have marked every week, giving it a corresponding number. This is why. Okay, I'm gonna need to zoom out for this. Let's zoom out. I hope this is in focus, maybe. I can't see. If it isn't, I will try and focus it in a bit. Still doesn't quite fit, but okay. Those are my trackers for habits and other things. I have a mood tracker where you will normally find it online as a year in pixels. That's how I saw it. I think it was on Pinterest. It's not my idea. Copied it of someone else, and I have no idea who originally came up with this. But basically, every little square is a day in the year. And down this side, this is not how a year in pixels is usually set up. It's usually set up by month. So you have 12 running up top here for each month, and then the dates from 1 to 31 going down here. But I have organized my trackers by week. So I have, I think you have seen the big overall. I can zoom in and focus, maybe, hopefully, right here. Hope you can see dust. No, don't look at the dust and the dirt on my table. Right, so here I have the days of the week, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and those numbers are the week numbers. This is the first week of January, 2nd, 3rd, so on and so forth. So I have all of the days, the entire year, in those two little boxes. So every day at the end of the year, every day in the evening or in the morning of the next day, I will sit down, open this page, and color in this square, or whatever square it is that is happening that day. So I haven't done all the squares ahead of time because it's a lot of work and a lot of squares, but it's easy and simple enough with the dotted grid I have happening over here to just, one square, color it in, maybe even with a marker or whatever I'm doing it with. Same goes for all of the trackers. And I have, should I zoom? I'm not going to zoom out. I have, the four I have is moods, where every color is a certain mood. So I can look back and track my depression and whatnot, and good days, and then see what it was I did on the good days that I felt so happy about, or what happened that made me very, very sad and wallow in my own misery, and all that good stuff. Also, I think the mood tracker, for those that need to track their periods, I think it's the perfect place to do so if you don't want to do it in an app. Because again, moods and cycles, interesting to see if they affect one another or not. So mood tracker, and over here I have my workouts, physical activity, also split out by colors. And over here, this is my intermittent fasting tracker and my general habits tracker. Now, the reason I'm still zoomed in is because I wanted to show you the tracker ski and how it still doesn't all fit. Oh, wow. Right. The mood tracker, those are my general moods. Very basic, works for me. If I need more details and more colors, I can add them. But I haven't felt the need to do so in the past 7 years. This is roughly what I've been using. For my workouts and sport activity, again, same principle, different activities, different colors. So, you know, if I walk a lot, or I go to gym class or pool, those are the colors I would be filling in here. And if I do more than one, because for example I need to walk for 30 minutes to get to my gym, I will just mark the gym class. And it's not in focus, is it? Oh, this is hard. Right, so color, sports activity, same as mood, works very straightforward. The intermittent fasting and habits, I wanted to track multiple things in the one square. So I'm still, you know, room for improvement, but to at a glance be able to tell how well I'm doing. I think something like this with no more than 4 things to track works best. Sticking to my 8-hour window, I will do a little circle on the top part of the square on the left side. And if I don't binge and don't do any of the junk foods and bad eating habits, I will also draw a little circle here at the bottom to the right. If I'm in bed by 11, which is what I have set, because I get up at 6 and I need 7 hours. So I need to be in bed ready to sleep at 11. And I don't have any control over how many times I'm woken up by kids or babies or, I don't know, sirens. So to keep myself on track and still go to bed at a reasonable hour, I'll be coloring in the whole square. And if I do a 24-hour fast, the little circles I'm doing here, I'm just going to color them in. And if I completely fail and mess up all of those things, so there are no squares, nothing to color with a pretty color, it's just going to be black. It's like, do better. And same principle for the habit tracker, where if I clean stuff, there's a cat trying to break in. If I clean stuff, do things, color. If I do art, those are the 4 dots in the corners. If I do self-care routines like face cream and, I don't know, bubble bath, fancy out of the ordinary things that would make me feel better about myself, little diamond shape. And the baby's bedtime routine that we do that I don't really need to track because it has become a habit over the past year. This is something we always do if I am home. A little heart in the middle. So that makes for a full perfect day where I do everything I want to do with those. All of the squares will be colored in, and the bottom 2 trackers are also going to have a bunch of circles. And this is the more elaborate pattern, but it looks okay. They all fit in, you know. It could be just they all work by themselves and in combinations. Like if I just do the baby routine, it's just going to be a little heart. If like they work in all sorts of combinations with each other. And if I don't do any of that stuff, I will also color it black, because being a big ick, I don't know, or maybe I'll just cross it out. I haven't decided yet. Okay, I can go back to zoom out now. Zoom out, see the whole thing. Focus, no, yes. Oh, this is, why is it so hard to see? You can see? This is, okay. I hope my hands are in focus. That works. Okay, so to elaborate more on the whole weight loss thing, I like to have a graph where those are the weeks, very important because I do everything by week. And over here would be the weight numbers, like from what I am right now, with slightly more in case I gain weight. Then I'm going to do a line of my current weight that I start with. It's going to be the baseline. And then numbers going lower for very optimistic planning of losing weight in a healthy, measured, not too fast manner. But I'm not putting the numbers in now because that makes me extremely uncomfortable. So just imagine cool numbers here, cool numbers there, and an amazing graph doing something like this. Yes, very realistic. Things watched tracker. I watch a lot of stuff. A lot of good stuff, bad stuff. So I have my 5-color system going from very bad to amazing, where the idea is that I will write down the names of the shows and the films and whatever else that I have watched, and then I will highlight it or mark it with one of the 5 colors so that I can straight away from a glance tell and recommend the worst things possible to my friends so that they can suffer the same way I did. And if I feel inclined to write a review or to make notes on the thing that I watched, I will do so in my daily log later on in the journal, and I will put the page number over here. So for example, watch The Labyrinth, page 158, and then color it red because it's amazing, and ta-da, easy to see. And trying to be realistic with the amount of TV time I spend watching things, so hopefully 2 pages will be enough. If not, I'm going to do something like this with a page with this and maybe like this and keep them all in one place. Or I could just do things watched 2, the Electric Boogaloo, and then add it onto the index over here. Things watched, things watched, it's 18, 19, and then maybe 200 and 201. That's the way the index is supposed to work, where you are able to find everything you have put in. Now, next, important numbers, which is just a list of numbers from my phone in case I lose my phone, or I can't find my phone, or something really horrible, terrible, and scary happens to my phone, so that I can at least call my partner or my mom and cry for help, because I don't remember any numbers at all. I barely remember my own. Subscriptions, pretty self-explanatory. Any kinds of services I'm signed up for, how much I'm paying, dates if necessary, or when it renews, just something to remember to keep track of, because I tend to sign up for things and then forget about them and never use them. And at least this way I know I should cancel stuff. Projects. By the way, all the titles, as you can see, I did with this. Took a while, but fun for me. I like that. Well, not those particular stamps. I would not recommend. They're cheap and they kind of work, but very uncomfortable to take out of the box, and not all of the... I'll show you an example. Oh, for example, this is, I don't know if you can tell, but this is the letter Y. And if I turn it around, you still can't tell. It says it's Z, which is factually incorrect because cheap set. So if you guys know of better letter stamps, tell me so, and with links and recommendations in the comments, because I'm still looking out for the perfect, comfortable letter stamps I could use. So projects, this will probably be for crochet things I want to do, although not necessary, and it's more like a backup because I have already set my goals and I don't want to waste too much time doing random unrelated projects as opposed to the thing I want to finish this year, which is not this thing, but it's also worth mentioning it. I have a whole bunch of videos, and by whole bunch I mean 5. Let me find it. This is my current bullet journal, and those are my art book projects, D.E.R.P, drawing, etc., while reading Pratchett. So I did 5. I have yet to print out the 5th one and put it in here, but ideally I would have multiple pictures on this page. I'm no longer going to force myself to do one a month, because the last picture I did took me 8 months, which was very embarrassing. Not 8, 7 months. Still embarrassing. But it's here if I do decide to get back into it. Now is the goals and achievements spread. I have set myself one main goal for this year, and it has to do with my short animation. And it's that part here. I have broken it up into some, stages. And I will color them in as I complete them. And this is the main thing I'm doing. Like all of this, those are photo albums that I need to print out and organize. And this one, hopefully, you know, as I go along. And those that I owe myself, that I have half-heartedly organized, but not fully finished. Those are 2 courses I have signed up and thought I would finish them in 2023, but I didn't. So I'd like to finish those. And weight loss, the forever, the bane of my existence. That's the thing. Basically, if at the end of the year I weigh less than I do in the beginning of the year, coloring this square in and counting it as a win. Achievements is something, it's an idea I got from my friend, where it's super cool and satisfying to have a list of things you've achieved that year and are proud of. So at the end of the year, when you look here, you'll be like, oh yes, I haven't completely wasted another year of my life. I have actually achieved some things. So anything worth bragging about or giving myself a pat on the back for is gonna go here. And I have put a big sticker so that the page isn't as empty and depressing. And being realistic, I'm not gonna fill up this page too much, but if I do run out of space, I'll just do a flippy floppy page and stick it in here with pretty washi tape. I have lots of pretty washi tapes. Right, that's it. Those are my collections. And if you are following the official proper bullet journal method tutorials, this is likely where you're gonna get with it. You did the future log and you did your collections. All of those things are called collections, I think, from what I remember. And after this, those are extra. This is from here on out, it kind of looks like one of those official weekly planners you can get in most shops. You have your week, you have your little boxes, your titles. This is 2023, so it's just like not there, but it's there, but not. That's why I haven't put in the number, because it's not January. It's just there. Maybe I can cover it with stickers. Not a mistake, not a screw. Maybe I should put the 31. Either way, January weekly planner, weekly log. All of my week where I can write stuff in the boxes that needs to be done that day, and I can have my running tasks running down the sides. Am I still in? I think so. I think it's still clear and nice and crisp, maybe. Okay, so I am no longer doing month gates, month big titles. I'm just doing a running weekly log where January slowly turns into February. Just changing the color. I have my washi tape on the side here. I have this one slightly lower, so this looks kind of cool. If it wasn't proper focus, is it? Oh wow, I am so sorry you guys, you're having to suffer through. Now I need to go back into focus. Maybe I should, no, like this. Okay, right. So I think that's kind of cool. And, right, whole year, it took a while. I did this over, oh no, I wish I had a better way of doing it, because autofocus doesn't work that great either. Right, whole year, I think it took me like 3 days, because I wasn't doing it in one sitting. I'd be drawing some boxes and taking a break, and that's my planner. That's my glorified planner bit. And then back to proper bullet journaling. This is for daily logging. So since those two little handy ribbons, there's one, and there is another one over here, handy ribbons. So January 1st, I write my plans, whatever, and if something happens or I have lots of unusual thoughts, I can log everything in here. I will write down the date and log. I no longer do a logging key, which is again something, basically a key is also an important part of bullet journal, where you have little symbols, whether those are little dots or circles or check boxes. I no longer do a key because I've been using the same key for the past 7 years. So I didn't bother making one, but you just decide on the symbols you use. Like if you have a task, right? I do a little square, little checkbox. So if I complete the task, I will color in the checkbox. If I don't and I move the task onto the next day or somewhere in the future, I do a little arrow out of it, and I can cross it out if I decide not to do it. The whole migrating of tasks and things, very good explanation on bulletjournal.com. If you use more of those symbols, I only use checkboxes for tasks, bullet points for points, for stuff that happened, and really that's it. I mean, you could have a symbol for remember to look up later, or a symbol for this is an event that like you can have different symbols for events and different symbols for thoughts and stuff. I just do bullet points and check boxes. It's very straightforward. Stuff I need to do, I mark off. Bullet points is stuff that doesn't need to be done, but I just mark it off. Very simple, very basic. If you want to elaborate more, again, go look at the original source. And that's it. I think I have shown you everything, because the rest is empty. Like I haven't, all of that, all of this space is for daily logging. I don't do excessive amounts of daily logging, but I still log some days more than others. And I'm not going to have to do my weekly setup, because what I used to do in the past is I would just do the 1 month. So say January, I would do the weekly log for January, and then I would have the daily log for January, and then I would need to set up February, and then I would have the daily log for February, and then so on and so forth. And each month I would need to redraw those boxes. So, enough is enough. I spent 3 days doing those, and no more boxes for me, unless I miss drawing boxes and draw some in my daily logs for no reason whatsoever. That's how I bullet journal, or some might say glorified planner. Well, that comment someone left really stuck with me for some reason. But that's it. That's my setup. Ooh, I haven't meant like those. That's just washi tape. I find them very handy, and I have added those to the important places that don't have the ribbon bookmarks. So this one is for my habit tracker with all the little squares, and this one is for goals, because I want to keep track of the things I decided I want to achieve. So when I am doing my January log, I'll just take a casual glance and I should be working on that. I should be working on that storyboard. It's right there. I can pop it out. And if there are any other important pages I find myself constantly visiting and wanting to open like straight away, I could just add more. It works really well, very comfy, nice, and you can use different pretty washi tapes for it. I have a whole big box of washi tape, and I'm gonna need to get a bigger box at the rate I'm going. Anyway, okay, now I think, now that's it. I think I'm finished. I think I have shown you everything I have in here and explained it to the best of my ability. And I hope you have a great year. next year. Hope you had a good one, and hope you have a better one. And with the help of your productive, amazing bullet journal. Okay, I think that's it. I hope I didn't forget anything important. Thank you for watching, and bye.